Heading out to First Form HQ. Just pulled out of my neighborhood and everybody is getting basically a new roof. We had a storm come through. I forgot when it was, but it was a little while back and it messed up a lot of people's roofs. And well, now everybody can put in a lot of insurance claims. So if they have it, which is kind of nice. But with my training right now, I'm working on the Olympic lift side of things. And for me, it's all very new stuff for the most part. And there's so many little technical things. Something that I'm really bad about is when I'm going to do a clean, I notice that once I pull and get the bar right above my knee, I essentially shove my hips forward to meet the bar, which is not a good thing. And my heel will start to come off the ground a little too early, which probably isn't a big deal since I'm not gonna be looking at competitively lifting or something like that. But when it comes to progressing and getting stronger, it'll be something that for sure affects things as I continue to go. So I'm really working on getting these lifts technically sound so then I can get stronger and stronger, because that's the main thing that I'm focused on right now is just leg strength, getting stronger. And then also frankly my shoulder or my pressing motions are really weak. It's something that I have to work at. Bench press is weak, shoulders are weak in the grand scheme of things. I guess if you compare me to a normal everyday individual, maybe you would say I'm strong, but when I'm thinking for the things that I'm wanting to do, I'm not strong. So I'm gonna be working on that. But one of the things that I know plays a big factor into continuing to help me is just staying consistent with my nutrition, because where I'm at right now, I want to be able to stay lean but not shredded, if that makes sense. I still want to be able to see my abs, but especially since I'm working on performance, I'm not going to be the leanest person, and nor should I be, because it just starts to affect how I start to perform. And that's the thing I always have to remember when it comes to all of this. Be okay with that, because naturally I would love to be leaner at times, but then being super lean comes with the downside of not being as strong, which isn't fun, because frankly I want to make sure that I am strong. So that's where I'm at currently with all of that. But with the nutrition, what I used to really struggle with is just consistently hitting my protein. That was a struggle, because if I think back to when I first started tracking macros, it was a little bit of a struggle, because I was like, well, what do I eat? What do I cook? And I was single. I wasn't married to my wife. My wife's an amazing cook. She makes some really good food, and she also makes macro-friendly dessert treats, which is awesome. Because I have a sweet tooth. So it helps me, I can have sweet things and still stay on track. But early on, I did not have that. And I used Pinterest a lot to figure out recipes, experiment with stuff, but I kept it pretty simple for the most part. I would do fish tacos, and I would do, maybe some rice and some grilled chicken or something like that. I didn't get crazy with it because I was just learning how to become a good cook. And I started to experiment more and more with it as time went on. But early on, it kind of sucked. And I remember trying to hit 200 grams of protein, and I was probably, well, that's really weird. There's literally a G-Wagon pulling a trailer. That's weird, really weird. But anyways, when it comes to hitting 200 grams of protein, I would typically eat a bunch of yogurt just to try to hit my protein, which isn't a bad thing, but it just really sucked having to do that, frankly. It's not something that I really wanted to keep doing, because I would go and get yogurt from the store. I think I would probably eat 4 things of the small, like Oikos or however the heck you say it, yogurt in a day, just to be able to hit my protein consistently. And then let's pull in protein shakes. Man, when it comes to protein shakes, the amount of bad protein shakes I used to have had is ridiculous. I remember the first one that I tried, I got it from Walmart, and I can't remember the brand, but it sucked. I think I was probably in high school when I tried it out, and it just was not good by any means. I would have to gag it down or try to put it in a smoothie. Then I think I did Muscle Tech for a little while. Then what I settled on after a while was, what the frick was it called? Man, what was it called? Cellucor. That's what it was. So I started taking Cellucor, and honestly, they have good flavors. I don't have anything negative to say about them because that was the first protein powder that I didn't have to choke down by any means. So it was good, but then somehow I stumbled across First Form, and it was the first time I had actually tasted a protein powder that was smooth, mixed good, wasn't clumpy or anything like that. I was really impressed. So I was honestly sold automatically on First Form, and then from there ended up becoming an ambassador, and then eventually made my way out here after I decided not to continue building out my coaching business. But when it came to that, protein shakes was something that helped me and still helps me tremendously with being consistent with hitting my protein. And I know protein's talked about a lot. People will say, oh, well, you needed to build muscle. And yes, that's true. But even if you're losing weight, protein is such an important thing for just a muscle maintenance standpoint. And then also, as I dove in more and learned, I saw that everything from hair, skin, nails to DNA to so many different things inside the body, protein is important for you. Don't come at me with hair comments. I understand I am bald. When it comes to this though, my progression with my lifts and everything else really started to move forward once protein and just overall nutrition was actually locked in, which has been nice. So as long as you can learn to stay consistent with the nutrition side, for me, it's made the world of difference, which I know everybody says that. It's just difficult. I would say it's easier to go and stay consistent working out than it is to stay consistent with nutrition. It really is. Like, being disciplined with what you put in your mouth and what I put in my mouth is really hard, especially if you have a sweet tooth. And if you think about, this is the other thing I was thinking about the other day is, well, with how most food is just designed, let's take fast food. It's more processed, which again, I don't demonize processed foods because I understand we're gonna take in a little bit of them. I just think it's good to minimize it. But when it comes to that, it digests really quick. It's meant to not keep you full for very long because then you just come back to it. They've just, in my opinion, they've figured that out that, oh, well, if we make the food like this, well, then people will eat more of it and they'll come back and continue to buy. And that's why you see organic stuff and stuff that's actually how it should be is so much more expensive, because it is. It's just the system that we actually live in when it comes to things. It's really crazy. And I'm not going to go down a conspiracy rabbit hole as I talk about this, but it is what they've done. It's like they've literally, and whoever they is, government, again, not going down conspiracy rabbit holes, but the food's literally been designed to make it where you have to come back to it over and over again. But the bad thing is that's also what causes a lot of health problems. And if you're thinking about the obesity in America, it just continues to go up and up and up. And it's just because of how the food is. So if you can really start to work and not cut out everything. I still eat ice cream. Me and my wife, we eat Domino's. I've seen it on here. So I don't cut out everything. But if you can start to work to include some more whole food that's not as processed and learn how to make food, well, then it's one of the best things that you can do. And in my opinion, because I know there's a few people at First Form that hunt, and also a guy that has a ranch as well. He has a really cool YouTube as well, far bigger than mine. His name's J. Algier Ranch, and they have their own cattle, and eventually they'll start just buying beef from him because it just makes sense. It's a little more expensive, but it tastes so much better. I know it's better for me. Call it bougie, it is what it is, but that's the thing that a lot of people are just, and even I struggled with and still struggle with, is just the nutrition side. It's not easy. So some of the things that I will do is, thankfully, again, my wife's a fantastic cook. So the meals that I make, they're actually good. They're healthy, they're good. I'll have about 2 to 3 whole food meals a day, which is really helpful. And then I'll do, just walking through a day of my eating here, I will wake up, I had some mango before I went and worked out. After my workout, I had 2 scoops of protein. So that's right around 42, 44 grams of protein. And then after that, I have some overnight oats. I have my lunch, which is, I forget what it's called, but it's like rice, some turkey. It's almost like I don't know. It's just not that. It's not plain turkey and rice. There's other things mixed in. It's really good. Goes down real quick. Then once I get home, once I get to HQ, what I'll typically do, I'll go grab protein bar, protein stick, and then once I get home, I really don't have that much left to eat. I'll have some carbs that I need to fill in, so I usually have some rice cakes, or Amy has been making these burritos for me, buffalo wrap, and it's really freaking good. She found these pickles that are awesome. So that's usually what I've been eating at night, and that pretty much rounds things out for the day. So my day's not complicated, but there's good whole food mixed in there. And the cool thing is it does help out a lot with just my gut health and things like that. It sets me up for a lot more success when it comes to my journey. So if you can learn how to make foods that really taste good, it's a big win, because that's the thing that I struggled with for so long. And then you can still enjoy stuff. I still have a time where you go maybe have some ice cream or some pizza or some wings or whatever it is that you love, because it's worth it. So that's kind of my thoughts today. If you really enjoy this content, well, please like, comment, subscribe. That would mean the world to me. I'm gonna keep putting out things that just have helped me tremendously on my journey, just so that all of you can really start to experience things that will move you forward as well. Because that's always the goal, is like, how can I help move you forward, and just share the things that have helped me. But other than that, y'all have a great day. I'll see y'all. I'll roll out an episode on Sunday. So I'll roll out episodes on Sunday, Wednesday, Friday. So that's where you can expect to see my long form content, everything like that. But other than that, have a great day.